each other that you can possibly be. Let me remind you that while your diversity of makeup can be irritating to each other at times, it is God's design to use our differences to knock off our rough edges. And He wants to use you in this covenant of marriage to make the best version of each other that you can possibly be. God uses our spouse to draw us closer to Him and closer to each other. A lot of people today will say, why do I need a piece of paper to prove my love? And I want to remind you that that legal document is meant to be a cradle of security in your marriage, so that when tough times come, you're able to face it and feel secure that you can work through those rough patches without an easy exit. And it signifies your level of commitment to each other that will cost you something to walk away from. It's really important that you hang in there in the good times and the bad. Christ honors your pledge today with His presence and His help for times you face disagreement and disappointment with each other. And I know at this time, not only are you going to depend on God, but you have a lot of great people here to walk with you as well. So Jacob and Carly have decided to have personal vows for each other that they're going to read to each other at this time. And so I'll have you hand off your bouquet and face each other now. Jacob, you want to go for it?
Yes.
Carly, I still remember our first high school dance like it was yesterday. My mom and I walked into your house, and your mother immediately recognized mine. We both whispered, "You better not be distant cousins." It turns out we were in the same church play, yet we never remembered each other. We both let out a long sigh of relief, yet we continued to make jokes about it the rest of the night. Later that night, as the dance was ending, one last slow song played. We leaned in and kissed, and it was at that moment I knew I was going to marry you one day. When we first started dating 8.5 years ago, we became inseparable, and it remains that way today. Being with you never gets stale or boring. You always know how to make the best out of every situation, and you always bring fun and joy to wherever we are. When we were in Mexico just a few months ago, I had numerous people come up to me and tell me how much they liked my fiancée, Carlita, and how fun she was. Confused, I would say, "Oh, thank you," and figured it must be some sort of mix-up. I later found out that's how she introduced herself to all the bartenders and new people she met. She told me Carlita was her drunk alter ego. I would love nothing more than to promise you every day will go smoothly, but I know that is not possible. What I can promise you is that I will let you put a zit, or maybe two, even though I hate it, because I know how happy it makes you. I promise to take time out of every day to listen to anything you have to tell me, big or small. I want to hear about your day, good or bad. I want you to always be comfortable being able to tell me anything. I promise to be open with you and never let any issue, big or small, linger. I promise to be your best friend and partner, and to try and make every day fun. And most importantly, I promise to never stop letting you know you're the most amazing and beautiful woman on earth, and that I love you and will always love you.
Jacob Tyler, today is the day that I have dreamt of since I met you. I'm beyond ready to become your wife. It's crazy to think that our love story started almost 8.5 years ago. I will never forget how nervous you were walking to pick me up for our first school dance together. You walked in the door with a huge smile on your face. I can remember your blue teeth from what you say was a combination of using pressed white strips and chewing gum on your way home. It was in that moment that I knew I found someone I could laugh with forever. That night I told you that I loved you at just 16 years old, and I haven't stopped loving you since that day. My love for you continues to grow each day I spend with you, and I truly could not have asked for a better companion to walk through this crazy life with. You are patient, loyal, forgiving, and have the sweetest heart. Today, in front of our family and friends, I promise to love you with all that I am for the rest of my days. I promise to be your biggest supporter and provide you with a shoulder to lean on. And lastly, I promise that I will never stop celebrating our love. I can't wait to write yet another chapter in our book as husband and wife.
Each other. Jacob, if you'll repeat after me. I, Jacob, take you, Carly,
I, Jacob, take you, Carly,
to be my wedded wife,
to be my wedded wife,
to have and to hold,
to have and to hold,
from this day forward,
from this day forward,
for better, for worse,
for better or for worse,
for richer, for poor,
for richer, for poor,
in sickness and in health,
in sickness and in health,
to love and to cherish,
to love and to cherish,
till death do us part.
till death do us part.
Now, Carly, if you'll repeat after me, I, Carly, take you, Jacob,
I, Carly, take you, Jacob,
to be my wedded husband,
to be my wedded husband,
to have and to hold,
to have and to hold,
from this day forward,
from this day forward,
for better, for worse,
for better, for worse,
for richer, for poor,
for richer, for poorer,
in sickness and in health,
in sickness and in health,
to love and to cherish,
to love and to cherish,
till death do us part.
till death do us part.
Well, today's vows between Jacob and Carly remind us of Christ's example, who revealed to us that love is not some kind of elusive mystical emotion that we can fall into and then potentially fall out of, but rather God has revealed through Christ that love is a daily choice to ascribe worth to others at cost to self. It's a choice of the will to put the needs of another first by the grace he affords. And it was wonderful to hear in their personal vows how they've been making that choice now daily, and their love continues to grow. And as we choose to work with him in setting our will to love, our feelings will often follow suit. The wedding ring is the symbol and reminder of our covenant promises to God today. The ring's unending circumference symbolizes vows of allegiance for time and eternity. So Jacob, I'm going to ask you now to take your ring and place it on Carly's finger. After me. I give you this ring
I give you this ring
as a visible reminder
as a visible reminder
that I'm choosing you
that I am choosing you
to share my life's journey with,
to share my life's journey with,
today, tomorrow, and forevermore.
today, tomorrow, and forevermore.
Go ahead. And now, Carly, I'm going to have you take your ring and place it on Jacob's finger. I give this ring as a visible reminder that I'm choosing you to share my life's journey with, to love today, tomorrow, and forevermore. So go ahead and place that. Okay, go ahead and join hands again. Take up, and Carly, may the sight of your rings daily remind you to put on compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience, to bear with one another, forgiving each other any grievances that may arise, just as the Lord has forgiven you. Well, Jacob and Carly have chosen to celebrate their love with a wine box ceremony, and they have written a love letter to each other describing their feelings and aspirations for the future and reasons why they have chosen to marry. But they're not going to open these letters that they've written to each other until their 5-year anniversary. And so I'm going to go ahead and hand these to you. And they're going to go behind me here to the box. There's also a nice touch of a fine wine, and 2 glasses to celebrate on that 5th anniversary the vows that they're making to each other today. And to break out that wine as a reminder of God's faithfulness as well, and the joy that marriage is to bring, that he can afford to all of us. Jacob and Carly, may the romantic sentiments that you've written to each other once again energize your love at that 5-year anniversary. And now for the 3rd covenant that this marriage ceremony represents. It's between you, the family and friends of Jacob and Carly, who have come as witnesses. Today you agree to help them with these vows that are being made when times may get challenging and hard. Every marriage faces different challenges along the way and needs loving support from outside of itself to hang in there. And they've invited you because they trust you, they love you, they appreciate you, and they desire for you to encourage them along the way. And so on behalf of everyone here, I just want to thank you for the privilege as well, Jacob and Carly, for just being able to participate in your special day, to get to know such a wonderful couple, and to know that you have lots of people that will encourage you if you need it, to not hesitate to reach out. So now, by the power vested in me, it is my privilege to pronounce you as husband and wife. Jacob, you may kiss your beautiful bride. Family and friends, for the very first time, I introduce to you Mr. and Mrs. Jacob Liberati.